Hello and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest gaming news, rumors, and speculation. And today is the day, everybody. We finally got a new gift from Bethesda early for the holiday season, as they not only just dropped a brand new, informative trailer for Starfield, but at the same time we got some amazing new images for this game as well, showing just how deep this game and its universe and lore actually are. And at the same time, it seems like Bethesda, and more specifically Todd Howard, might have also confirmed that spaceflight will indeed be in Starfield as well. And towards the end of this new video, Todd Howard left us on quite the cliffhanger, foreshadowing a rather interesting mystery that awaits us within Starfield. This entire breakdown video is going to be jam-packed of new information, so let's not waste any more time and get right into today's content. First off, this new Starfield video is part of the Into the Starfield Constellation Log video series, where Bethesda Game Studios gives us surprisingly consistent updates and teases about this game. So far, each and every new video in this series has given us both new information about the game as well as new images and concept art as well. This new Starfield video that I'll be breaking down in today's video is no different than the other ones, but in my opinion it's easily the most exciting one yet, and it's also the longest one, and it's titled Into the Starfield, The Endless Pursuit, and was uploaded the same day as when I uploaded this actual breakdown video, November 30th, 2021. That skooma makes me react very fast. That's pretty Sonic Cash Money of me. This video features a few key Bethesda Game Studios developers, including Master of Conjuration himself, Todd Howard, who even with all of his power and might, still cannot learn the spell Summon Elder Scrolls 6. During this Into the Starfield video, Todd Howard and friends gave us some insight into what drives their passion behind developing Starfield. We're given some more information about the game's overall tone and focus, and a few rather cryptic but very interesting statements about the game, all the while being shown previously seen as well as new concept art and images in the background. For the purposes of simplifying and breaking down everything in this video, though, I'll just go ahead and list everything that I took note of in this video. We'll break down each and every statement about the game and what it could mean for Starfield, and then we'll take a look at the new concept art and images towards the end of this video. I'll break down the new information and statements in the order that they were said in this trailer, and basically this video will break down everything there is to take away from this new trailer. So if you kind of want to get a summary of this video, this is your best bet in my opinion. I'm not just saying that because it's my channel, but I also am. First off, Todd Howard opens this new video by saying some rather heartwarming things about video games, about how they give players the chance to experience adventures they may not have otherwise ever been able to experience, as well as the pride for accomplishing these goals. But during this statement, one thing stood out to me. Todd says it's the paths that you didn't take which make the journey special, not the paths that you did take, the ones you did not. To me, this sounds like, in terms of Starfield especially, that there will be multiple avenues and choices a player will have in terms of how to finish a quest, where to explore first, who to ally with, and so much more. Obviously, this has remained one of the main core principles during the development processes of previous Bethesda Game Studios games, and is something we've seen from them before, but seeing how Todd Howard decided to open this new Starfield video with this very specific statement, I can't help but feel it holds some very particular focused truth towards Starfield as well. So there'll probably be a lot of branching potential possibilities in which we can do things within Starfield. Also, at the beginning of this video here, Todd shows us that he has been studying and reading books about space exploration and more, which is something that ties into a confirmed fact about Starfield that is mentioned later on in the video. Next up, though, the developers mention that they are definitely aware of what makes a Bethesda Game Studios game feel and play like a BGS RPG, and they know that the community are aware of that also. However, despite all the technological advancements which will no doubt make Starfield and beyond feel like new games, the games will still be familiar and have the vibes and experiences that we'd expect from a Bethesda Game Studios RPG. Even though Bethesda Game Studios is expanding as a studio and getting new talent, this is something we shouldn't worry about, because even their new developers especially want to stay true to what makes Bethesda Game Studios special. So those vibes and just the overall playstyle and stuff that we'd want to see continued from Bethesda, regardless of technological and engine upgrades, will still be there, so don't worry. Next, they mention how surprising it is to see just how long people continue to play their games, with Skyrim still seeing a huge, high player count many years after release. This is obviously, no doubt, in one part due to the handful of remasters Skyrim received over the years, but beyond that, games like Fallout 4 still have a pretty solid player base still, and that is specifically, in my opinion, in a large way because of the modding community. Bethesda in this video mentions how grateful they are and always have been for their modding community, and it seems like they're trying to further confirm previously made statements that also confirmed that modding will continue to exist and basically be along the same lines as as they've always been in previous Bethesda games, such as Skyrim. One particular statement Todd made, though, did stand out to me, and that statement was that having the modding community extending the lifespan of your games can change the way you actually create games. So I wonder if Bethesda Game Studios went even further than before in terms of how accessible and how the modding will actually work within Starfield. Only time will hold the answer to that question, though, as maybe you can hear the dogs barking in the background, maybe not. Either way, I'm gonna have a new office soon, and you won't have to hear those dogs anymore. Shut up! Todd then states once more that a sci-fi and space RPG is something Bethesda Game Studios has been thinking about doing for a long time, so Starfield has been a dream for Bethesda for many, many years, even as far back as ye old Morrowind days. But many of you who closely follow Starfield news and speculation would no doubt already know that, and would know about their first attempt at a game like this called The 10th Planet, which was inevitably cancelled, as the technology to make that game didn't exist back in the 90s. But it does now, and so do we, and that is awesome. And then next up is perhaps the most mysterious and exciting statement in this entire video. Todd states one of the most exciting elements of space exploration is defying gravity and taking off from a planet's surface and going up into the space place. Then the topic immediately shifts over to exploring space and how vast and wondrous it is. The fact that they randomly began this new topic of conversation with Todd Howard, specifically talking about a ship lifting off from a planet's surface with a grin on his face, by the way, in my skooma-laced opinion, is a sign that Todd is definitely low-key confirming spaceflight will be in Starfield. After all, making a moment that Todd Howard literally specifically says is very important be as underwhelming as, let's say, a cutscene or just a loading screen in today's day and age in gaming would not be the smartest move in my opinion. So, spaceflight confirmed, maybe, probably, yes, maybe, who knows, probably. But then Bethesda states that Starfield has a more realistic, science-based backing to it, which goes along with all the various space tomes that Todd showed us at the beginning of the video. Bethesda is basically making it very clear in this entire video that Starfield is not just a game, but an actual universe that is believable. In fact, in one of Todd's literal quotes here is that Starfield is more like a universe than the game. That means that the game will have a very deep and interesting lore and stories, even down to the bedtime stories the children of Starfield listen to before bed at night. So if you love lore, which I do, and many Bethesda Game Studios fans do as well, then Starfield will not disappoint you and will have just as much lore, mystery, intrigue, and more as what you would expect from along the same lines as the Elder Scrolls, for example. But again, the focus seems to be on exploration in Starfield specifically. So with Starfield having such a high focus on exploration to a very large degree, that makes me wonder, because it's obvious that's the focus here, right? Like, I think at least 10 times Bethesda says in this video that the focus of Starfield is exploration. And furthermore, Bethesda states that that's a little bit different than they've had to make games before. While in the past, exploration has always been an important part of previous Bethesda Game Studios games, it appears no other previous project has had as much focus on exploration alone as Starfield does, which makes me wonder, just what will we be finding out there in space? What mysteries will we be uncovering and potentially even solving? Bethesda also tells us that while they're making new areas, new environments, and new characters in Starfield, that they want everyone and everything to seem believable and more grounded. Well, obviously they're taking some creative liberties here with this for gameplay and entertainment purposes. The world will be less fantasy and more grounded and believable than, say, Skyrim, but that doesn't mean it won't be just as wondrous or mysterious here. Todd also confirms once more that the game will be primarily played in first person, and once again, you can touch and pick up like every object in the game. Touching and picking up every object on your table before angrily just throwing everything around before leaving the house forever, because you can't place that one particular cup down in the exact way you want to. Hopefully our space cups will be new and improved in Creation Engine 2, and it'll fix some of the like item placement issues and glitches like we've seen in previous Bethesda games, but nonetheless, I'm glad Bethesda isn't ditching the item grabbing thing, as in my opinion that is one of the most important things in their games and definitely adds to the charm that we hope to see from a Bethesda Game Studios RPG. Basically, Bethesda wants us to know that Starfield will feel like a real, living, believable world that we will get to experience in more than just play. And this statement alone gets me super hyped, as next up Todd Howard specifically mentions sunsets and how beautiful they are and how much they add to just the overall gameplay experience, which doesn't immediately sound like something that would like stand out to you, right? Because day-night cycles have been around in gaming for a very long time now, but seeing how Todd Howard specifically mentions in this like 7-minute video, in this Starfield update video that we only get so many of, I feel like it must have some kind of importance in regards to Starfield, and seeing how planets' day and night cycle are different just depending on, you know, where they're located in terms of where their sun is and their movement around the sun and their orbital velocity and everything, I can't help but wonder that the different planets will have very specific day-night cycles, as we'd expect realistically. After all, Bethesda Game Studios' first attempt at a game like Starfield, the 10th planet, even back in the 1990s, had believable and realistic orbital patterns, so we're probably going to see some advanced stuff in Starfield, yeah! Also, even the engineering and robotic elements within Starfield will have a level of believability and realisticness, because Bethesda has various members on their team who are actually experienced in stuff such as engineering and robotics. Of course, Starfield will take place far in the future, so there will be some creative liberties here, but basically the tone and everything will be believable and will have like more of a focused scientific element rather than just space magic. So think about like Mass Effect minus the actual Mass Effect fields and biotic space magic stuff. And then Todd states something very exciting. In all Bethesda Game Studios games, there's that moment when you step out into the world and you take in a view and a scope of the scene and the world before you. We have all felt it before, anyone who has played a previous Bethesda Game Studios RPG. That moment when you step out of the vault in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. That moment when you look out from the 3 Guardian Stones of Skyrim. Basically the moment when you step out into the game world for the first time and you just see how large and beautiful it is, and then you get hit with that like feeling of freedom because you get to decide where you want to go and who you want to be in that world. That very thing will be in Starfield, but Todd states that not only will Starfield have that step-out moment, it'll have 2, and then he says it's very cryptic, but I think I know kind of partially what he meant here. We'll have that first initial step-out moment like we'd expect from a Bethesda Game Studios game when we step out of whatever structure we're in or whatever into the actual game world for the first time, but Starfield is going to have multiple game worlds, so not only will we get that moment, we're going to get that moment multiple times on different worlds, but the second step-out moment, the second big moment, will be when we fly up from the spaceship off the planet's surface into space for the first time. And again, in my opinion, this is hinting that spaceflight will be indeed in the game, but also hinting for the first time that we might not have access to a spaceship at the beginning of the game. It's something we'll have to grind towards and do quests for in the starting area, which I actually like and totally dig, by the way. Don't give me the power armor during the first main quest. Let me earn that later on down the line. And then the end of the video was on this specific statement here, that to Bethesda and many other people, exploring space is just simply seeing what's out there. So like I've been saying, Bethesda clearly wants us to know that the focus and the driving factor in Starfield is exploring space and solving or discovering the mysteries that await us out there in the Starfield. Like I said, during this video, Bethesda showed us several new images and concept art for the game as well, which in my opinion are some of the best ones we've seen yet. There is a lot of stuff to go through just in terms of these images alone. Everything from a robot with a punny backpack and a cowboy hat, to kids and space cats confirmed, to more shots of various spaceships actually flying around in space. We also got to see some new beautiful environments that I just can't wait to walk around in and explore, and we got some new concept art for the food, which is kinda gross. I don't know how we go from tasty, high pixel count sandwiches and garlic potato friends to multiple servings of different space worms. I'm totally good on that. No thanks, Todd Howard, but seeing how there is a ton of stuff to go through here just based on the new Starfield images and concept art, I decided to give those the respect and time they deserve by breaking all the new images and concept art that we saw in this new Endless Pursuit video here in tomorrow's video. I'll be breaking it all down, each image in great detail, using as much skooma as possible to squeeze out any new information about all the new concept art and images in this new concept video in tomorrow's video. But as you can see, even separate from the concept art image breakdown, there is a ton of stuff to go through. There is just a lot of Starfield information. With each new Constellation log update video, Bethesda gives us more and more information about this game. Thankfully, it also appears that they don't plan on slowing down either, which means next month we should probably get another video like this, and like always, I'll be there to break it all down for you. That is basically everything I wanted to talk about today though. As always, thumbs up if you enjoyed the content, be sure to subscribe to help the community grow and the channel, and huge shout out to the following amazing people for going above and beyond to support the channel and the community. Get your name added to this permanent future video shout out list that'll be featured at the end of every single one of my videos by supporting the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. The beginning of a new month is tomorrow from the time of me uploading this video, so now's your chance to get added to the new updated list before I update it again in another month or so. So if you really want to get a permanent future video shout out, here's your chance to do so. Links for all this and more, as well as links for the Skullzi Discord and Skullzi merchandise, are all down in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when we're one day closer to finally taking off into the Starfield.
it just works.